Good morning. Day 2 of my trip here on the Colorado Trail. It's a nice morning. The sky was pretty red this morning, but it is really beautiful out there right now. It's just amazing.
My morning was met with a breathtaking sunrise from my view at camp. The sky burst into hues of red and orange over the range as the sun rose over the horizon.
So I've got 14 miles in and 100 miles to go. I'll get about 12 miles today. I'm going to go into the Lost Creek Wilderness here and about, honestly, a quarter mile away. I've got some moleskin on my heel where I had a little hot spot, and my shoes are tied a little bit tighter today. I slept really good and feel very rested. Definitely feel like I traveled quite a bit with a load on my back, but I'm ready to go, to keep on going, even though I'm sore and tired. Let's see you on the trail.
Upon leaving camp, I continued on a climb on an old logging road. Large stones made for a tiring trek, warming up my legs and feet quickly. I could feel the blood coursing through me, delivering nutrients from the trail breakfast of rehydrated pancakes and sausage to tackle the day.
Just walking through a pretty amazing fir and aspen forest. These aspens are huge. Just massive aspens. And it's beautiful how the light is just filtering through, casting shadows and showing some bright spots on the aspens.
I passed through the forest, marveling in its wonder. The sunlight filtering through the aspens, casting a soft, warm light on the forest floor. The earthy smell of the woods brought by the rain and storms the night before. And the sounds of the wildlife waking to experience their day. A walk in the forest is always a grounding experience, bringing me back to the natural world.
Yeah. It works really good. And I feel a lot lighter.
Just as soon as my legs were ready for a break, I was welcomed by a trail leading off the old logging road, but only to be greeted by more switchback climbing. At least this was along a forest trail, without the stones to give way while I stepped on them.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, this is a bit of a grind. I don't know, it keeps turning one way or the other, so I don't know if I'm getting to the top of this climb or not. But, whew, it's all good. It's still beautiful in here. I got the squirrels still yelling at me, and we are gonna get there. I gotta get to I think it's over 10,000 feet, 10.5. Hello, little squirrel just ran in front of me. All right, carry on.
After passing through the highest point on my ascent, I took a break for lunch with a view of the valley before me.
So this is Lost Creek, and I've never been up in the wilderness back up that way. Now I have, but this is just a beautiful place. Come down here and camp quite a bit off the road. So I'll be following the road out that way and just along this whole meadow and whole open space. So it's probably gonna be a little bit windy, but there'll be some pretty nice views. and it's not a bad place to stay for lunch.
I spent time in this valley during weekend camping trips with my family. Those experiences brought memories to be made, and I was certainly reminiscing about them now. I was here now, in a different way, a different time, making new memories. The rest of my hike was pleasant, with epic, vast views all around. The leading lines of the valley, bringing my eyes to Lost Creek as it flowed into the South Platte. The sky crashing into the mountains in the distance, and the wildlife that I shared the space with. Beaver had created dams along many parts of the creek, creating small ponds behind them. I was brought back to the reality of the trail and the wilderness with a bull moose standing in the creek. A dark, brown shadow at first, growing into a mighty figure of strength and fortitude as I cautiously ventured along the trail. I paused on the trail after coming close enough for comfort, watching the bull peacefully eating along the creek. He either didn't notice me or didn't care about my presence. Then, glancing upstream, I saw her, a cow moose, and her calf. My nerves struck me then. The cow and her calf were in the direction I was headed. I didn't want to be in their way. I just wanted to be a spectator in their world. It started to rain, so I took shelter under a tree to put on my rain gear, my eyes still glued to the moose. I sat under that tree in the rain, watching her, seeing where she might go, thinking to myself, would I be able to cross her path without spooking her? Will she see me as a threat to her calf?
Moose are very, very cool animals. Well, that was absolutely epic. I was walking down the trail and about 4 miles to go to my camp, and I saw this dark shape out in the willows. And I was like, is that a moose? And it was a bull moose. I just sat there for a while and he didn't see me or didn't care that I was there. I looked over to the side some more, then I saw a cow and a calf coming through. I'm like, oh no. So watched them for a minute, kind of see where they were going to go, if they're going to go into the trail or just stay in the willows. And they stopped and just stay there in the willows. So I figured I'll stop underneath this tree, put on my raincoat and my backpack cover, and we're gonna give it a go. She was far enough away I wasn't too worried. And she definitely saw me as I kept on going down the trail. I'm glad I wasn't any closer, but I wish I had my 500 millimeter because I only had my 200 and I didn't get super close-up pictures or anything. So cool, love it.
I continued along the trail, stopping to take in the views and fill my water for the evening. I was rewarded with an amazing campsite for the night and a gorgeous view of the valley I had just traveled through. The rain stopped long enough for me to set up camp. I laid in my tent, thinking about the miles I had just traveled and the experiences gained. Tomorrow would be another day adventuring on the trail.
This is night 3's campground. Just in the middle of Lost Creek, just outside of the wilderness. It's just up that way, and we'll be back into it tomorrow. One more camp out here, and then we'll be over Kenosha Pass. I wanted to camp here just because it got back into the forest. Then from up here, you would have a view of the entire valley. You can see all the way out to where the moose were. Just a breathtaking valley, Lost Creek. My little humble abode is all set up. I have a vestibule that my pack is just laying in there for now. I'll probably keep it in there tonight. Think I'll keep it in the tent. I did last night, which was kind of nice, but I might keep it out here tonight. And then inside is just where I sleep. All that to carry up here. Just fix my dew here. Probably fine, however. Last hour has been raining on me, and I made it to the camp I wanted to make it, but I got pretty wet. Got my shelter set up. I changed my clothes. Got this warmer jacket on. I got a little bit cold. Oh, I changed my socks too. I did a lot of hiking today. It was really pretty intense and tiring, especially in the beginning. So it was like 2,000 feet of elevation gain. I'm at almost 11,000 feet right now. 12.7 miles today hiked. I started at 8,800 feet and I'm at 10,921 according to Gaia. But that first bit was on this logging road, and then I got off the logging road, which had all these larger stones that I was walking over, and that was pretty tough. And then I got off of that road and went into just more steeper, really steep climbs up to over 10,000 feet. 10,006 I think is where I got up to there, and I went back down into the valley at Lost Creek. I'll tell you, there was a moose encounter today too. That was really, really epic. Just walking along and like, oh, is that a moose out there? And it was a nice bull. And then I was just watching him for a while, seeing what he was gonna do. He was just hanging out in the willows and eating and stuff. And then I look over to the side and I see a cow and her calf come in. And that kind of spooked me a little bit, because especially when they're with calf, I mean, is it older? I don't think it was quite a year old, but maybe from the spring. And just because of how protective they can be. So I proceeded with a lot of caution. Still got some video and some pictures of them. And I just remember walking up to this tree. It started to rain, and I put my rain jacket on, I put my cover on my backpack, and then just evaluated if she was far enough away that I felt comfortable enough walking through. And I thought that it would probably be okay. She was pretty far, but it was still close. It was still pretty close. She saw me as I was walking through. She saw me, her ears perked up. She was watching me, wondering who I was. And I just kept on going and made sure she felt comfortable. Didn't look her in the eye, didn't approach her or anything. Just kept on going through so she would know that I was just passing through, and there was no reason to worry about me. I gotta do some more checking because I have to go down like 1,000 feet and then back up. And part of it is carrying 3 liters of water. So if I can drink most of my water tonight and then fill up after I go down and back up, then I will do that. That was my day. It was pretty awesome. I'm just gonna chill out here and get some sleep and rest up and recover.